My name is Jill, and I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up on the video I did yesterday. And so I'll link that below if you didn't get a chance to see that, based on what a Green Beret's survival advice was, and are you following it? But today I wanted to do a little extension of that, and I want to talk a bit about, this is the second time I've talked about James Wesley Rawls' book, How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It, that Tiwaki. And I also want to say that the wind is hellacious, so I hope you can hear me over the wind, and I hope that you will be patient, because there's apparently no day in the near future that is not some kind of significant weather, so there's no waiting this one out. So we're diving ahead and moving forward. So what I wanted to do in terms of continuing the conversation, and you saw in the title, is what am I really talking about with this shotgun survival mindset approach, and what is it exactly that I'm letting go of? And there's a couple things that are around that I wanted to flush out a little bit with you guys. Because you heard me kind of shotgun, I think if anything we could call my videos a shotgun approach. And you know, part of that I expressed the other day is that I really have so many things I'm interested in. It's been very difficult for me to narrow it down. That's what I've been doing probably the last 6 months, is separately trying to pull things together. And it's really kind of official at this point, where I have faith in where I'm going, but there still needs to be keywords, there still needs to be general ideas in order to create some overlap and some connection in terms of a YouTube strategy. It is the way it is. And survival is one of those words that's kind of a loaded word, for lack of a shotgun survival pun. But for me, you know, one of the things I mean when I say I want to let go of that survival mindset is, one of the things I don't like, and when I said yesterday I'm moving away from that survival mentality, is I don't like that fear-based defending approach. I don't like the idea of having to try to plan for every contingency, because like most of you, I don't have the money, the time, the space, or the energy to create some kind of system in which everything and every need is going to be planned ahead, premeditated, and put into place, so that somehow I know that I will be safe. And that's never made sense to me. You know, I've always kind of pick and choose, like most of you, in terms of what I can do, what I can't do, that kind of thing. But this idea of kind of having a shotgun approach to survival, I think there's something about that a couple things happened. One was this whole idea of an extinction event, and I thought, you know, if there's a future in which no survival is an option, then what's really the point of doing all these other things and being afraid of all these different scenarios? And then, you know, I tied that extinction event into a terminal diagnosis. And the grand irony being is we all are walking around with our own terminal diagnosis, and we do the least amount of training and preparing for our own terminal diagnosis than we do of the one that I think is the most legitimate in terms of out of our control and the highest set of consequences. And that's really if the electricity goes off. I think of any kind of scary scenario was to move forward, as long as there's some kind of electricity, it will be a very different world than in the absence of electricity. So when I say I'm going to let go, or I'm letting go of that shotgun survival mindset, I'm doing that in a couple ways. One is for my own thinking and my own processing. You know, I'm really reducing it to what kinds of things can I really train and prepare for that will improve my quality of life, as opposed to just doing a bunch of stuff for something that might happen someday. And that is, you know, my own health and wellness, which is my own quality of life, which is really the terminal diagnosis, right? I want to be as mobile as long as possible. Is if the electricity goes off, that I think is going to be the scariest one, because we, as at least in the first world, have zero capacity to function in any kind of good way, I think, over more than a few days without electricity. I know here I won't have water, so I'll be moving and hoofing it somewhere. But that to me is the most legitimate thing to prepare for, is if we don't have electricity. And the third is the idea of an extinction event, and that's probably the most abstract, and I'm going to talk more about that in the future. But I think what I would say about that in terms of how to sort of train and prepare not from an erratic, just sort of piecemeal approach, is that I think the bigger issue with some kind of extinction event is going to be the psychology around it and the emotional response, because there's sort of this fantasy that we can survive, right? If something bad happens, that's really what all this preparation stuff is. It's about, well, I can survive. I'm special. I can survive. And there's something about the idea of an extinction event that is so significant that it takes out most of the world's population. That sort of puts the kibosh on the fantasy. I know there's still people who are engaging in that. Oh, well, I'm going to hit the cave and I'm going to be safe. Okay, but the reality is if that came to us with any kind of pre-notice, then there would be a complete degradation of society. And there's plenty of movies and TV shows and things that talk about that. But when people are faced with that idea, it's so overwhelming that they start to disassociate, they start to engage in bizarre behaviors. I mean, lots of things break down. And I always used to say when I was working at the hospital, if there was some kind of crisis or catastrophe, I'm not going to work to take care of you. I'm staying home and taking care of my own business. And I think that's probably where I see at least Americans most disassociated, is that who do you think is going to go to work and take care of all these structural things if something bad is happening? So that's the one end of the shotgun approach to survival that I really want to let go of. But the other one is letting go of the fear. And that's a process, and that's something we're all, I believe, working towards. And we're all at different stages, and I think we all have different experiences with that. And for me, that fear I replace with the idea of faith. And it's not just faith at the spiritual level. It's also faith in my own competence, faith in my own strategies, faith in my own preparation. Confidence might be another word. Confidence that I've done the best I can in the amount of time that I have and with the resources that are in my control. And that, I think, is the best way for me, at least, to approach all this. So I just wanted to do a little bit broader explanation about what we were talking about yesterday, is this real bottom line idea that nobody is special. Nobody survives everything. We're all leaving at some point in time. And the only really question we can ask with any confidence is who we want to be and how we want to live while we're here. And right now we have the most amount of choices. We have the most power within our choices right now to make some of those decisions. So while I appreciate people like James Wesley Rawle, who are hardcore survival, they've got the resources, they've spent a ton of money, a ton of time, a ton of energy into planning for every single scenario. Like I said, when I started thinking about a solar event and the maximum amount of alteration in the earth that would occur, it really sort of sunk in for me that there's just no way around something really big happening. And it's okay to just let go of that maybe just a little bit and to step back into a more realistic processing of who do I want to be? What kind of quality of life do I want to have now? So I just wanted to add that. This idea, to me, my Just Walk Away philosophy is really about letting go. What do I want to let go of? What do I want to hold on to? So I'll be sharing more about that as we go. But for today, I'm letting go of this sort of shotgun survival mindset, but I'm holding on to everything that I can do to improve my quality of life. So I'm going to toss that question back to you. What do you want to let go of? What do you want to hold on to? And what does the word survival even mean to you? So with that, we'll take a deep breath, and we'll see you next time.